Gorgeous, we're done. Hello everyone! I am so excited to be sitting down and filming this video. I've been wanting to do this. Every time I've sat down to film this, there's been some sort of intrusion. And right now my neighbor's mowing his lawn, so like hopefully you can't hear it. So I just took a shower. I have my hair up just in an old t-shirt. And I'm gonna go ahead and do like a little practice round on myself of my vow renewal wedding makeup because it's coming up, it's approaching. And since I'm gonna be doing my hair trial later today at my hair salon, I thought I would go ahead and just do this makeup tutorial for you guys if you have potentially a wedding or a vow renewal coming up, or you just like a neutral bridal glam kind of look. I also got a facial this morning, so I'm a little bit red. I've been doing all these little bridal prep things and I'm having a lot of fun. Again, if you missed it in a different video and you are someone who was a COVID bride and you ended up eloping, you're still allowed to have your moment. Do a vow renewal, treat it like a wedding if you want to. Have your moment, you deserve it. So I think I have everything here in front of me ready to go. I know my hair is not gonna last like this. And if you wanna see like my bridal my bridal hair trial from later today, it should be up in a vlog. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. And let's go ahead and get into this makeup look. So first I'm gonna start off with my Tatcha Liquid Silk Canvas. Just use your favorite primer. This is what I've been using as of late, and I do feel like it helps my makeup stay on because obviously we need everything to last. And I mean, I've kind of been like finagling and testing different combinations and different formulas, you know, for primer, foundation, setting spray, baking, just trying to figure out like the best combination. So what I'm presenting you with today is the best one I've been able to kind of come up with so far. So I am gonna take some of this Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. Everything will be linked below. And I'm gonna go ahead and spray this before and after makeup. This really does help to lock you in for a long time with foundation. Since my hair is wet, I'm just gonna like throw it up. Just to get it out of our way, I don't have the capacity to dry my hair. It is literally 90 degrees today. So for foundation, I always had thought to myself over the years, when the big day came, I always knew I would do Estee Lauder Double Wear. It's the best. It's so good. It's long lasting. I would definitely recommend this if you are also an oily person who wants full coverage. If you're someone who wants more of like a natural, more glowy, maybe you're more dry, I would recommend Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk. I'm using the shade 2C3. I'm hoping it's the right shade because like I've started to get my summer tan. If I need to mix in, I'm gonna use a little bit of the CC cream from It Cosmetics in medium tan. This also stays on a very long time. Just taking my damp, yep, that's gonna be too light. Okay, I'm just gonna add one pump of my tan shade. I'm just gonna kind of mix it on my skin. Such beautiful coverage. And I have mixed these two foundations before, and they mix really well. And that CC cream does have SPF 50. I think that would look really beautiful on its own as well, as long as you use like the long-lasting primer and setting spray. This even still is not the right shade. I'm gonna have to go and pick up another color of this before the wedding, but I know I like the formula, and it will look better once we bronze up and set. I never really have bought Double Wear for like my summer shade because I don't wear a lot of makeup in the summer, but for this, definitely gonna have to. And if you don't want to spend that much, an amazing dupe is the Revlon Color Stay for oily / combo skin. It's very similar. And of course, we're blending down the jawline, down the neck. Make sure you get your ears, get everywhere. You know, anywhere they're gonna be taking pictures. People are gonna be recording you from all different angles, so you wanna be totally covered everywhere. So that's just one layer. The coverage is crazy. I know, not the right shade, but we'll make it work. So I'm gonna go ahead and do highlighting and contouring, both liquid and powder. I feel like when you layer creams and liquids and then set also with the same tones for powders, you're just gonna get so much more longevity and wear out of it. So we're gonna use the Born This Way from Too Faced. And I'm just gonna get everything in place. Give myself that little eye lift. Makes you nice and bright. Snatch the nose. Highlight the forehead, the chin. And then this is the shade, by the way, Pearl. And my contour shade is Maple. If you are also a round-faced or a bigger person like me, I am going to do a little special contouring that I have been practicing and playing with, and I actually really like the way it looks. So follow your cheekbone, and it's kind of just creating the illusion of a more narrow jawline. It actually looked really good when I blended it out, so totally a personal choice. I just think it looked really nice. Just gonna do a tiny bit up here, and if you want, you can also snatch the jawline. So I like to go ahead and use like a dense brush when I blend out my contour, and then I'm gonna use my sponge for my highlight. So this is the IT Cosmetics Skin Smoothing Complexion Brush, and I just press. And if you're someone and you don't like your forehead, I'm sure your forehead is so beautiful, but if you don't like your forehead, you can add a little contour at the top as well. So just a little stippling motion. All right, trust me, trust the process with makeup. So I'm gonna take the same beauty blender that we just did our foundation with. So just take your beauty blender and go over your contoured areas to soften it, melt it in with the foundation, and then take the other side of your beauty blender and blend out the highlighted area. Okay, and then for the nose, I do the highlighted section first, and then I take the side of my beauty blender and just dab into the sides. And trust me, I know this looks scary. Practice makes perfect. Trust the process. It's gonna look way worse before it looks better. So now we've got our base all set, and it will continue to come to life as we use powders. I also have been playing around with adding, I usually hate cream blush and like liquid blush. It just never has worked for me. But I got these in PR, the Pixie On The Glow blush. I actually really liked the way that it looked when I just took it with that same brush we blended out our contour with. Swipe a little bit on the brush and then just lightly press it, little stippling taps right here. If you place your blush too far inward, it's gonna just make your face look wider. We all wanna look snatched on the big day. So placing it more up like that is just going to lift the face. And they had some other really pretty shades of this. So we're doing just a little extra insurance with our face, because I feel like the face is just so important for the wedding day. Having all of this underneath our powder is just, it helps so much. So we're gonna set our baked areas with this Revolution Banana Light powder. You can use regular translucent powder if you want. I like to just give one quick little extra blend under my eyes, because I have this line under my eye that just creases in 2 seconds. So taking my beauty blender, dipping into the powder, doing a classic bake, and I'm also baking in the crease of my nose because that is a place that I always have separation with my makeup. I always crease there, sometimes even when I bake, but you know, this is the best thing I can really do to try to prevent it. And I'm also bringing it down the sides of my nose. So we're also gonna take a little bit of that on our chin. This is also really helpful if you're oily. I'm gonna bake up here as well, because we all know we're gonna be getting a greasy AF forehead. Well, I mean, is it just me? I'm also gonna take a little bit right here, just there, for a little extra contour. Gorgeous, we're done. I also desperately still need to get my brows done, but I'm gonna do them probably just like right before, so disregard my underplucked or not plucked eyebrows. So when I want my brows to look really snatched, I prefer to do a brow pomade rather than like a pencil. It just gives me more control, but go ahead and do what you're comfortable with. I'm just gonna do my favorite right now, the Morphe Hazelnut Brow Cream. Brows are so personal, like you gotta just do what feels right for you, what makes you feel beautiful. So once you have your brows where you like them, I did go ahead and just clean them up on the bottom as well. I'm gonna go ahead and just sweep away. We are castaways. If you're not on TikTok, it's a lot to explain. Just lightly dust. Lightly dust. Oh, I love that Revolution baking powder. It's so good. And then on all the other areas I didn't have any highlighting, I'm just using a little bit of the Laura Mercier translucent, and I'm just patting it, just in case we don't want to rub any product out of place. And I like to use translucent powder as well down the neck where we put product, just because we don't want any transfer. Now for bronzer, we're gonna use the Marc Jacobs Tantastic. I really like the tone of this one because it's not like warm, it's not cool and muddy. It's like the perfect kind of contour color with also being like a bronzer. And I'm just gonna use a little bit of that on the cheekbone. I'm not going to bring it down where the rest of that contour was because I don't want that to be dramatic and like over the top noticeable. It's just subtle, so you will see it in photos and it will kind of just change the shape of your face a little. But we're just doing it on the other parts that we contoured. A little bit here, a little bit on the jawline. This is also a beautiful shade to contour the nose with. So I'm just taking a small fluffy brush and I'm going over the spots again that we used our liquid contour, and connecting it up into the eye socket is just what's going to make it look so much more natural than just like two stripes, you know, down the sides of your nose. And you don't need a lot. It's just kind of subtle. Again, this is just like a little subtle change for photos. And every time after I contour my nose, I go ahead and take the brush that we sweeped away our baking with and I just go over it to soften it, because there's just nothing worse than when you can tell there's a nose contour happening. Okay, bronzer's all set. For blush, we're using the Tarte Amazonian Clay 12-Hour Blush in Risque. This is a great long wear blush, and this is a very beautiful, rosy, very classic wedding color. And we're doing our placement in the same spot that we did the cream blush. Focusing it right above the contour, and blending it up into the hairline and the temple. For highlighter, I'm using my current favorite, the Jaclyn Iced highlighter. It is so stunning. And we're just gonna do that on the upper cheekbone. Like, it is just like, it is icy. It is quite icy. Like, I mean, hello. But while I have it out, I am gonna just take a little bit on my brow bone. Like, it's so good. And just tap it out with your finger. I'm gonna do a little bit on the upper bridge of my nose and softly blend it. And then also in my inner corners. This is just gonna make you look really bright-eyed and glowy and happy on the big day. Now it's time for another massive spray of this. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and just let this set. Here is the skin. trust the process, right? And now it doesn't look too bad with my skin tone, but it's definitely still not perfect. So I'm gonna throw on a little bit of eyelid primer. I'm just using Painterly by MAC. And the funny part is, guys, I feel like this look, that's the hardest part, was the skin. Like the eye look, it's pretty simple. You know, if you're new again to eyeshadow, just keep blending. I'm using my favorite eyeshadow palette for like the last year or so, the Artist Couture Supreme Nudes. It's my go-to on the day-to-day for glam. It's just perfect. So we're gonna start off with a fluffy brush and just a nice, really simple light nude tone. And I'm just gonna say like what they are. Like to me, this is a light nude tone. So go ahead and just follow whatever that would be for your skin tone. And I'm just going to take that fluffy brush and blend it in my upper crease. I have hooded eyes. When you look at me, they're hooded. So, you know, by placing this a little bit higher, it's gonna help your eye look a little bit bigger, but you place it in whatever crease point is good for you. All right, once that is all blended out, grabbing a different eyeshadow brush, just a flat brush. Just wanna take something a little bit lighter than that, kind of more like a beigey or creamy color. And I'm just going to put that on the lid portion right below, you know, kind of right to where my crease goes when I blink, when I look up. And then I'm just blending that again, kind of marrying the two colors together. So that's the first little baseline. And now from here, you can go as smoky as your heart desires. So now I'm just taking the next darkest shade from the crease color, taking another fluffy brush that's a tiny bit more dense. And then from the outer part of where my crease goes, I am just softly pushing that in about 1/3 of the way into my crease, focusing it right where the outer crease is, and then softly pushing it inward. When you apply darker shades, when you apply any eyeshadow, the first place it sits is where the majority of it will go, and then where you blend it, it will soften. But the first place that you put your brush matters. So I put it right here, and now I'm just blending. And you can kind of softly now blend it up into that crease color. And then that might be where some people want to stop, but we're going to keep going. And we're essentially just going to get darker and darker, because I know some people prefer to be extra smoky, but for some people this might be enough smoke and they want to go more natural. And this is just for the upper eyeshadow. We do have more to do. And between each shade of getting darker, I like to take that first fluffy brush and just windshield wiper it, you know? Keep it blending, keep it moving, keep it blended, right? So I think I'm just gonna turn it up one more notch, but you go as far as you want, girl. Now I'm just taking a darker brown, a chocolatey brown. Again, just tapping. Now I'm right at that outer corner because that's where I want my darkest spot to be. And then tiny little circles to blend it. And you can always add more, but you can't take it off. It's the same thing with your hair. You know, when you cut your hair, you can always take off more, but you can't put it back on. So just tiny bits at a time until you reach your desired depth level. And that is just about the perfect amount for what I am looking for right there. So if you wanted to go more deep, you would just take a black and do the same step. And then just going back with our fluffy brush, softening on top, and windshield wiper. So now we're gonna move into our bottom lash line. So I like to keep my eyes looking bigger. I feel like that's what most people want for their wedding, like bright-eyed. So the trick for that is, if you don't know, one of the best things you can do to make your eyes look bigger is take a white or kind of like an off-white nude shade and put it in your waterline. I have loved the NYX Milk Jumbo Eye Pencil for so long. So I'm just going to very carefully put that in my waterline. Try not to smudge it on your bottom lashes. We just want it in our waterline. And this is definitely a bit more like on the dramatic side. I would do a nude tone if you want it to be more subtle, but I just like the white on myself personally. So now I'm just gonna take a small little smudger brush and take the dark brown that I just finished with. Use whatever color you finish with, like for your darkest shade, right? And we're just going to get it right on our lash line on the outer V, about 1/3 to half of the way in. just like that. So not in the waterline, but just on the lash line. And then on top of it, I'm gonna take the first crease color that we used and go right below that and marry those two colors together. And it's just gonna soften that a little bit. And that is it for the eyeshadow. It's pretty simple. Again, I'm gonna say for the millionth time, practice makes perfect. If you wanna go ahead and add eyeliner, that's all you, but I personally like the look of just this eyeshadow and a really pretty pair of lashes. So I'm just going to apply some mascara and throw on my lashes. I'm not going to keep you guys, this video is already really long. I'm not going to keep you here too long. If you need a tutorial on how to apply false lashes, there are a ton on YouTube I would highly recommend. But the lashes I'm using are the Ardell Wispies, but they're the faux mink. So they are a little bit more dramatic than the classic Wispies. But Ardell Wispies, great drugstore lash, beautiful as well for weddings, if you don't want to go too dramatic. Okay, I am back with my lashes on and I love them. They're so pretty. So this is a amazing drugstore lip combo. We have the NYX lip pencil in nude truffle, and I love these Revlon Color Stay satin inks. They're so good. They truly do stay on for like a super long time. After a couple hours, you might need to retouch just in the middle, but just keep it in your bag, but you don't have to worry about it coming off on the earlier side at all. I don't think anything stays on all night, but this stays on a very long time. I'm gonna just slightly overline my top lip just because it's what I like. But I love this combo because it's like slightly ombre, but it still comes out to be like the perfect kind of nude color in my opinion. And I just filled in like halfway on the bottom as well. And since this is very brown toned, this is much more kind of pinky nude. And I'm going over the whole lip. So it's still going over that lip liner as well. And I'm just a little bit extra. So I take a concealer brush and like go around my lips because I like them to be like super sleek. And there it is. See how it's a little bit more rosy once it kind of sits on the lip? Like when you first put it on, it's kind of brown, but then it goes to more of like a rosy brown. But yeah, that's just what I'm wearing. Of course, you can wear other colors. I just really like this formula. I hope you guys like this makeup look. I am about to go get my trial hair done. So I'm gonna wrap this up with my hair done so you guys can see, you know, with the hair. Because right now my hair just looks really bad. So see you in a little bit. All right, guys. So this is how the makeup looks with the hair. I'll show a little picture of the back right here. I love the way this makeup is wearing too. It's been several hours and I feel like it's not moved one bit. It's hot as hell outside. It's just like glowy but not oily. Like my forehead is still matte. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial and I'll see you guys in another video soon. Let me know if your wedding is coming up. All right, bye.